Hundreds dead after quake strikes near Marrakech, Morocco. What we are covering here. More than 800 people have been killed after a powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Morocco on Friday night, according to state TV. The toll makes it the deadliest earthquake to hit Morocco in decades. The epicenter was in the high Atlas Mountains, about 72 kilometers, 44.7 miles, southwest of Marrakech, a city of about 840,000 people. The city's historic walls, first laid out in the early 12th century, have been damaged. Rescue teams are reportedly struggling to reach the most affected areas. One witness said, "We are hoping for miracles from the rubble." The quake was the strongest to hit that part of the North African nation in more than 120 years, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. 14 minutes ago. It's early afternoon in Morocco. Here's what you need to know. From CNN staff. If you are just joining us, hundreds of people have been killed after a powerful earthquake struck central Morocco. The bulk of the deaths were in the province of Al Haus, west of the quake's epicenter and south of the popular tourist city Marrakech. Here are the latest developments. When and where. The quake struck shortly after 11 p.m. local time, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Its epicenter was in the high Atlas Mountains, about 72 kilometers, 44.7 miles, southwest of the Marrakech, home to around 840,000 people. Many people in the areas affected live in structures highly vulnerable to earthquake shaking, the United States Geological Survey, USGS, noted. Rising death toll. While more than 800 people have died, the figure is likely to rise. One expert said he expects multiple aftershocks and predicted the magnitude of these aftershocks to be in the high fives. Damage is complicating rescues. Rescue teams in the country were having difficulties reaching the hardest-hit areas, with nearby road damaged or blocked. Some Marrakech residents spent the night sleeping in the streets. Traffic has been reported in some streets in the city among a rush to pick up patients, as well as tourists fleeing the destruction. Eyewitnesses describe devastation. People living in the foothills of the Atlas Mountains, very close to the epicenter of the quake, have described the ruins left behind by the disaster. One eyewitness said her village is in a very bad condition. There is destruction everywhere. Huge international response. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi opened the G20 summit on Saturday with heartfelt condolences to everyone affected by the quake. The United Nations has said it is ready to help, and other countries including Israel, the UAE, the US and France have said they are working to provide assistance to Morocco. 1 hour 48 minutes ago. Eyewitnesses described destruction in the foothills of the Atlas Mountains following earthquake. From CNN's Celine Al-Khaldi and Teal Rebane. Fatima, 50, told CNN her house in the town of Asni in the foothills of the high Atlas Mountains was destroyed in the earthquake. I barely got the chance to grab the kids and run out before I saw my house collapsing in front of my eyes. The neighbor's house has also collapsed and there are 2 dead people under the rubble, she said. She added that help is yet to arrive in the remote town. There is no one here to help pull the dead from under the destruction. The village is in very bad condition. There is destruction everywhere. Mohammed, 50, from the nearby town of Wargain, lost 4 family members in the quake. I managed to get out safely with my 2 children, but lost the rest. My house is gone, he said. Rescue operations are currently ongoing. We are out in the streets with authorities as they try to pull the dead from the rubble. Many people were transported to hospital in front of me. We are hoping for miracles from the rubble, he said. Mustafa Louanabi, who also lives in the foothills of the Atlas Mountains, described the moment the earthquake struck, saying there were loud, deafening noises and it felt as if a train was passing right in the middle of the living room. His family fled outside, where they stayed for the rest of the night as aftershocks continued until 8 a.m. Nobody slept all night because of the aftershocks, and the noise of these shocks created panic, he said. Louanabi's house survived the quake, but a town nearby has been razed to the ground and locals are unable to retrieve bodies from under the rubble, he said. Many of the villages in the foothills of the Atlas Mountains close to the epicenter of the quake are isolated and difficult to access. 1 hour 57 minutes ago. Strongest quake to hit central Morocco in more than a century. From CNN's Amarachi Ori. Friday night's earthquake, whose epicenter was in Morocco's high Atlas Mountains, was the strongest to hit the area in more than 120 years, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. With a magnitude of 6.8, it is categorized as strong on the magnitude scale. Earthquakes of this size in the region are uncommon, according to the USGS, but not unexpected. It noted that there have been 9 quakes with a magnitude of 5 or higher since 1900, however none of them have had a magnitude higher than 6. On the scale, each increase of one whole number results in 32 times more strength. Jonathan Stewart, a professor of civil and environmental engineering from the University of California, Los Angeles, told CNN that while the quake was 30 times weaker than the 7.8 magnitude quake that hit Turkey earlier this year, it still released a tremendous amount of energy and was likely to do substantial damage. 2 hours 47 minutes ago. Just IN, death toll rises to 820. From CNN's Mustafa Salem. The death toll for the Morocco earthquake has risen to 820, with 672 people injured, Morocco's state television Al Aila said, citing the Interior Ministry. There are 205 people in critical condition, Al Aila added. 1 hour 28 minutes ago. Putin and Zelensky send condolences to Morocco. From CNN's Uliana Pavlova. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have issued separate statements on Saturday sending condolences to Morocco amid the deadly earthquake. Our deepest condolences to HM King Mohammed VI and all Moroccans for the lives lost in the horrible earthquake in the Marrakech region, Zelensky said in a Twitter post. I wish those injured a fast recovery. Ukraine stands in solidarity with Morocco during this tragic time. Putin expressed a similar sentiment in a statement published on the Kremlin's website. Your Majesty, please accept my sincere condolences in connection with the tragic consequences of the devastating earthquake in the central regions of your country. Russia shares the experiences and grief of the friendly people of Morocco. 1 hour 34 minutes ago. Earthquake is Morocco's deadliest in years. From CNN's Sophie Tano. The deadly 6.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Morocco on Friday night is the worst the country has seen for years. At least 632 people were killed, and 329 others were wounded, including 51 in critical condition, state-run TV Al Aila reported, citing Morocco's Interior Ministry. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, it was the strongest tremor to hit that part of the North African nation in more than a century. Not since 2004 has the country seen a comparative disaster, when a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck the port city of Al Hoceima. That earthquake left around 630 people dead and caused widespread damage. Morocco's worst earthquake of modern times was in 1960 near the western city of Agadir, which killed at least 12,000 people. 3 hours 37 minutes ago. In photos, powerful earthquake in Morocco kills hundreds. From CNN's Shuiying Chang. Moroccans are waking up to the aftermath of the most powerful earthquake to hit the North African nation in more than a century. Here are some of the latest images from the scene. Residents take shelter outside at a square. France in talks with Morocco over sending help following earthquake, French ambassador says. From CNN's Xiaofei Su in Paris. France is in talks with Moroccan authorities to figure out ways to accompany Morocco in this grave crisis, the French ambassador to Morocco told CNN affiliate BFM TV Saturday. Tens of thousands of French people go to Marrakech every week for vacation. Around the same number of people go to the nearby Agadir region, French ambassador Christophe Lecordier said. French leaders have also expressed the country's readiness to help. We are all devastated by the terrible earthquake in Morocco. France is ready to help with the rescue efforts, French President Emmanuel Macron said Saturday on X, previously known as Twitter. French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne also vowed that Morocco can count on the support from France in this hardship. Local leaders, including from the Greater Paris region and Marseille, have also pledged support to Morocco. More than 830,000 Moroccans live in France, while more than 30,000 French live in Morocco, according to data from French authorities. 3 hours 49 minutes ago. Injured people seen standing outside hospital building in Marrakech, with hospital beds moved outside. From CNN's Ben Brown in Marrakech and Celine Al-Khaldi. Many injured people were seen standing outside a hospital building in Marrakech, some with what appeared to be serious injuries, a CNN journalist in the city said. Hospital beds were moved outside the building with a large security presence in the vicinity, including military and police. Traffic is reported in some streets in Marrakech where buses, jeep cars and ambulances are rushing to pick up patients and tourists fleeing the destruction following the powerful earthquake that struck Saturday morning. Several ambulances can also be seen been driving between Marrakech's Medina, the ancient part of the city, to the Chu Mohammed VI Hospital, where a number of people stood in the street, shaken and crying. Some context. The epicenter of the 6.8 magnitude quake was in the high Atlas Mountains, located about 72 kilometers, 44.7 miles, southwest of Marrakech, a city of some 840,000 people and a popular tourist destination. The earthquake has killed at least 632 people, with 13 being in Marrakech and 290 in the neighboring province of Al-Haus, according to the Interior Ministry. At least 329 people have been injured.